The kimchi is good, the food is gonna be good. 비빔냉면 or 물냉면 or 막국수.
Hello everybody! Welcome to our very first episode of Lunch Hour English. I'm in Jeju-do right now and about to dig into the craziest looking seafood ramen I've ever seen in my life. But I've got some help here with me. Here is our first guest of the show. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Lorena. I come from Spain and I work in Korea as a model actress.
Very nice. Thank you for coming here today.
Of course.
Have you ever eaten something like this before?
Not like this.
Okay.
This one is like very interesting because it's quite large and everything is together. So I'm quite excited, to be honest.
So a little bit different than what you've tried before. Do you like Korean food?
I do.
Do you have a favorite Korean food?
It's really hard to kind of choose only one food. I really like jjulmyeon or bibimbyeon.
I also love cold noodles.
비빔냉면 or 물냉면 or 막국수. Really hard.
That's fair. That's a hard question.
So hard.
감사합니다. 감사합니다. So
She's
sweet.
so cute.
Let's see. You like this though, right?
I like
Have
it.
you
It's
tried
good.
it?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
okay.
어때?
It's okay. Not bad, not bad. The texture is very chewy. And I don't think it has too much flavor though. Now what? He's getting all the seafood ready,
Good,
flipping
so
it
good.
and making sure it's fully cooked. Chopping the octopus now. Rest in peace, little friends. That's nice they make it into like bite-sized pieces for you though.
I feel like in Spain we like more like softer textures, whereas Koreans like really kind of like chewy textures.
Okay. This is what I get excited for, the noodles.
I love noodles. Are you
Yes.
a rice person or a noodle person?
Noodle person.
Same.
You too?
Yeah. 네, 감사합니다.
Can't go wrong with noodles. Can't go wrong.
And the broth is so good.
The broth is super flavorful. Spicy. Do you like spicy food?
Yes.
Yes.
I love spicy food. Spanish food is not spicy, but I lived in Germany with a Turkish flatmate, and that's where I started eating spicy food.
Ooh, wait. Do Turkish people eat spicy food?
Yeah, very spicy.
Wow, I had no idea.
It's different spicy from Korean spicy.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that's how I started eating spicy food and got used to it and kind of like became addiction.
So, how long have you been in Korea actually?
I have been in Korea 7 years and a half.
Wow, quite a long time.
Yeah, more than I expected actually.
What brought you to Korea in the first place?
When I first came to Korea, I had a job at a company. So I came for work. I had already been in many other countries, like in around Europe. I lived in Paris, I lived in Berlin, I lived in the States, and I had learned all the language. And then like I tried with Korea, and I visited. I loved it, and I felt like the culture was a little bit similar with Spanish culture.
It's similar.
Similar, very similar, and very different. You also like stand up for like older people.
You respect the elders.
Yeah,
a
you
lot.
respect the elders. It's in a different way with Korea. Sometimes in Korea, when someone is elderly, you cannot really say something, even if they did something wrong. In Spain, you could say something, but you need to say it respectfully.
Okay, you gotta be careful.
You gotta be careful, but you can say something.
Okay.
We also have like formal language.
존댓말.
Yeah, we have
in
존댓말.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
But-
didn't know this.
But like the funny thing is like most people in Spain, they will tell you like talk to me in informal.
Okay.
Because people feel old when you talk to them in formal
They're like,
language.
speak to me like I'm young.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah.
young.
Yeah. Whereas like, in Korea, I feel like it's kind of the opposite sometimes.
It's kind of rude if you speak.
People will feel,
informally.
with foreigners, sometimes we get a free pass because they understand we don't speak super
We're not great
well.
at Korean.
Yeah.
We're not totally fluent. I was saying like 안녕 to taxi
안녕.
drivers,
Oh.
and I had no clue. I was just like 안녕, and then later I learned. I was like, oh, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Right, eat,
Look,
eat.
it's really, really good.
I love kimchi too.
That's when you know like the restaurant is gonna be good. If the kimchi is good, the food is gonna be good.
Was there anything that was like so different or hard for you to adjust to here in Korea? Big culture shock or something?
Maybe not culture shock, but sometimes it still gets to me. Like in Spain, usually when you enter a place, you say hello to people. You will be like, oh, buenos días, ¿cómo está? And
People are like more talkative a little bit,
Yeah.
like even to strangers.
Or like you acknowledge people more. like than, for example, in Korea, like when you go into the elevator, like even if it's your neighbors, you don't really say hello.
That's true. It's silent in the elevator.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel awkward. I'm like, do I say hi? Do I not say hi?
Especially if it's another foreigner.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
true. Yeah, you kind of like awkwardly glance. Sometimes I'll do like the head nod.
I know what you're thinking, but that's a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
When I go back to Spain, it's kind of a reverse culture shock because I have become a little bit rude in Spanish standards. Because I go to places and I don't remember that you are supposed to say hello looking at people.
The etiquette's different, right?
Yeah,
I kind of understand this since small talk is so common in the US. When I came to Korea and people weren't talking to each other on the bus or elevator somewhere like this, I felt like I had to say something. Or like not saying bless you. I think that was another odd thing for me. When someone sneezes, like I'm like, I gotta say bless you.
Yeah.
But it's just not a thing here.
I still say it, even if I'm on the like subway, I'm by myself, someone sneezes, I'm like, bless you.
Bless you. All right, I'm gonna switch things up here, and I want to ask you about your life in Korea as a model. So, what are some of the pros and cons of being a model, and what's just been your experience there?
Pros, I would say, is not per se of like being a model only. I like the kind of like every day is different. I can bring creativity into my job because every day I'm a different person. Sometimes that allows you to explore like characters that maybe is not who you are. Like if you're a mean person on camera, you are allowed to be mean. So like you can experience how that person will feel. As a model, you get to meet a lot of people. I generally like to meet people, ask them questions, know about their life, what they do, what they like, how. Because I feel like you can learn a lot, like about hearing people's stories. So I love that about my job. I don't like that it's so uncertain. Last minute, it's not gonna be this day. It's gonna be this other one.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
So it's a little bit hard to make a life around it because you never really know what it's going to be like.
I can understand that.
The uncertainty.
Yeah.
So it's like good on one side and the bad. Uncertainty because you don't know who you're gonna meet, how it's gonna go, like if it's gonna be fun or not. Also, there's a lot of waiting time. Sometimes I have been like shooting for 24 hours and you're shooting 1 hour or 2 hours and the rest is waiting. You get really tired by the end of it.
Is there anything like you feel like being in a model in Korea versus being a model in Spain? Like, is there any difference, would you say?
I think when I did modeling in Spain, I was studying my master's degree, so it was only part-time. So I didn't do as much work as I did here. In Spain, the work that I did, it was mostly fashion work or like event work. Whereas in Korea, it's mostly commercial work more than modeling itself.
Okay.
So in Spain, I did more like catwalk.
Wow,
like
you
clothing.
did the runways?
Yeah, or
You're
events.
so cool.
I did that in Korea too, but like
That's amazing.
much less.
Oh, I want to watch you. I'd make sure you see me waving.
Yeah, do it.
Wow, we're nearing the end of our soup here. We did good. We killed it. It's almost all gone. Oh, what was the best?
I love this one.
Shellfish.
It's so good.
Oh, I enjoyed it very much.
Which one was your favorite?
I like the noodles. Maybe the mussels because it was my first time.
The
trying.
mussels?
Yeah, I liked it. Any of the shellfish was
Oh, nice. I feel flattered that I'm your first
Yeah,
guest though. Like, I'm like,
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching our very first episode of Lunch Hour English. Please stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch Hour English. This is going to be a super fun episode because, as you can see, I've got some delicious looking food here and a beautiful guest. So this is Ili, and she also lives here in Korea. So Ili, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Ili. I come from Bulgaria and I've been in Korea for about 6 years now.
Woo. What do you do in Korea?
I do acting and modeling.
She's being very humble. She's an amazing actress and she is in so many advertisements here. I can't walk out of my house without seeing your face somewhere.
Oh my god.
So what was the recent job that you've done? Like one of the bigger jobs you've done recently?
A recent job that I'm kind of actually pretty happy about how it turned out is coming for a Hyundai car, Hyundai Genesis. Not sure if I should say that. Yeah.
Did I sign an
Did I
NDA?
say, was it in the contract? But yeah, it was pretty cool.
So are you hungry today? Are you
I
ready
am
to
pretty
eat?
hungry. I'm very ready to eat right now.
Okay. So I feel like so many times when we hang out, we always get John and makgeolli.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of
the
our
best
thing.
Yeah, if it only was raining, it would
I
be
know.
perfect, right?
It is like the most like sunny and hot day today.
Right.
Well, never a bad day for John, right?
Of course, yeah.
Again?
Very excited for this one one.
Yeah, same. So this is like dongdongju. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it's like a slushy. It's icy. So I think it's perfect for summertime. Let me pour you up.
Thank you.
I got you, girl. Ooh, looks so good. Do you have anything like this in Bulgaria? Like rice drinks, or was this very different for you?
This is very different.
Okay.
Yeah. But I fell in love with makgeolli from the first try. It's so good. It's so refreshing, and I like that it's not too strong.
How do I say cheers in Bulgarian?
Na zdrave.
Na zdrave. You got to do the tongue roll, right? Na zdrave.
Cheers.
It's so good. It's like so refreshing on such a hot day. Very
I'll take
nice.
this instead of ice cream any day.
Ooh, they should make a makgeolli ice cream. Is that a thing? I feel like I've seen like makgeolli shakes.
Cut this out. We are gonna have a new business, makgeolli ice cream.
We're patenting this right now. Nobody steal our idea.
Yeah.
Should we try the food before we get into
let's
all the
dig in.
conversation? All right, so we've got a huge assortment of pancakes. Actually, I haven't tried many of these.
Yeah.
We've got tofu, kimchi, chili pepper.
This is kinnip, I think.
Oh, ginnip. Oh, I love ginnip.
Kinnip
Sesame
is like
leaf?
perilla leaf.
I'll start with this too.
Yeah.
Okay. Dip it in the soy
Spice.
sauce.
Actually, I grow my own perilla leaves at
Oh,
home.
you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. On your rooftop?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have my own like little garden there.
So nice. So she actually, you own a building.
Well, yeah.
Like, humble brag.
Humble.
And you guys renovated this whole building.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. Like, her house is beautiful. So I'm just wondering about, like, how does housing here in Korea, how does it compare to housing in Bulgaria?
Honestly, I was really surprised. We actually first live in an apartment, and then because of the noise that we could always hear from the neighbors, we decided, we want to live in a house.
That's rough.
Because you can hear everything from the neighbors.
You can hear them fart next door.
Yeah.
Like,
So back home, I feel like compared to Korea, most people would love to have their own houses with like a yard and then a garden. Nowadays, a lot of people that live in the city, they're so like tired from all the busy city life.
Yeah.
So they would actually look into buy houses in the outskirts of big cities, and they would commute to
Like what
to
you
and
did.
from. Yeah, basically what I did.
So you did. I actually heard a term for this recently. It's called city fatigue.
City fatigue.
And I can relate to that. Living in the city, the hustle bustle, like, can be exhausting. So
But I feel like in Bulgaria it's more doable because we're not that many people. Korea and Bulgaria have the same size of land,
really,
and we're like just 7 million, and Korea is like what, 50 million? So imagine if 50 million people wanted to have their own house. Like this, the math
can't
isn't
happen.
adding.
Yeah.
When I first came here, and then I heard that a lot of people, like their dream would be to own an apartment. That's a big
Interesting.
difference. I feel like in Bulgaria, once you buy a house, you would like live there for life. Like you would consider it more a home, whereas in Korea, people would be looking at it more of as an investment. So they will be moving out more often. I've been living here for 6 years and I moved 3 times. I would never thought that would happen back home.
when I first came to Korea and I heard of like 30-year-olds living with the family, it's very different from American culture where it's like, you know, you're 18 after high school and you're expected to pay your own rent,
Right.
get your own house, live on your own and be completely independent. So to be completely honest, sometimes in the US, when you're older and live at home, some people view it as you're mooching off of your family. Not saying this is true, but some people view it as that. I was really surprised. This is totally normal, totally acceptable. I think it's kind of nice in a way. I wouldn't mind living with my family, but was it shocking for you?
It's quite different from Bulgaria. Actually, I feel like in most of Europe, people would get independent on an earlier point in their life. So I feel like I had this type of prejudice. Maybe when I was in my early 20s, I would also think, you're still living with your parents and you're in your 30s? Like, why? But now that I'm in my 30s, I would love to live with my parents. That would be so nice.
Isn't it funny how your attitude changes? Because me too, when I'm 20, I was like, I never want to live with my parents again. Like living alone's amazing.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older and paying the bills, I'm like, I would love to live with my family again.
having someone to cook and wait for you at home.
Is it common for people to live together before marriage?
Oh, I really don't understand like people in Korea getting married and not having the experience of living together before that. So I feel like here, like living together is considered as a very big thing. Whereas back in Europe, it will be more nonchalant. Oh, let's just share rent. Like we've been dating for a couple of months, so people would be doing it out like economical value.
Yeah. Like makes sense for us financially.
Yeah. And here it's more like, oh, we're living together. Okay, now next step is marriage for sure.
It seems a little more controversial here. Something with the
Style,
religion.
Like religion. Buddhism, no, it's Confucianism.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Confucian. I think culturally in the U.S. it's very acceptable.
Even I have a lot of friends. A lot of people would be living together, having kids, without having marriage, for example.
Gotcha.
Whereas here in Korea, that's a no-no.
You learn a lot about a person by living with them.
Exactly. You should know what you're getting into in advance.
Was there any other thing when you first lived here in Korea, something even about the housing that kind of like shocked you?
Not interacting with your neighbors.
Oh, that's a
It's
good
like,
point.
In Bulgaria, you would know their like by name. You would like always talk to each other. Having beer at night in the like if you have a common space, right? You could always go and ask for sugar, for example. Whereas in Korea, you barely meet them. But I heard like there was an old tradition back in the day. You would give rice cakes whenever you move into a new place. So the second time we moved in an apartment, I remember we gave some rice cakes to the neighbors. Oh, that's such a nice thing to do.
That's
like,
so sweet. I don't think I've ever seen my neighbors in Korea.
maybe it's an apartment building thing. If you have kids, it's a different story. But if you live on your own or if it's a couple, maybe it's harder.
When I was growing up, it was very common. I was very close with my neighbors. I lived on a dead-end street, and we knew almost everyone on the streets.
Yeah.
Like, my dad would mow the neighbors' lawns, and we'd help each other out.
Have
all this-
barbecue together.
Yeah, sometimes. I feel like there's pros and cons because some days I'm like, oh, it would be like helpful. You can help each other out and it's kind of nice. And then on the other hand, we've also had neighbors that are like,
don't really want to talk to.
yeah,
I get
so
it. Yeah.
it can be good and bad. What about renting in Bulgaria? When I first came to Korea, I was really confused by the whole jeonse, wolse system.
When I first heard about jeonse, I was like, how is it possible? Because like you give this big chunk of money that you can almost buy an apartment with, and then this person uses them for their own good. And the only thing that's binding you is like a contract, right? But then after your contract ends, if that person doesn't have that money to give it back to you, then what to do?
Yeah, you're out the money.
Can you still live in the apartment though? My husband had to explain it to me several times to understand how exactly it works.
It just seems shady.
It
a little
does
bit.
seem a lot. Apparently, it is becoming a big problem and a big fraud in Korea. Even not only jeonse, but deposits in Korea are also quite expensive.
Very expensive.
In Bulgaria, when you do rent, your deposit would be like 1 or 2 months worth of rent. And here is like, what, 10 million at least, 15 million one. So if you live on your own, that would be like quite a large sum of money to have in advance. But when I lived back home in Bulgaria, it was quite cheap compared to what I've heard the prices are now here. Because but that was like, what, almost 10 years ago? Nobody knows our age right now, right?
Yeah.
No agents are looking at this. But I paid something about like $200, $300
Per month? For a studio apartment?
Like there was one bedroom and then like the living room with the kitchen and then one bathroom.
Wow, $200 a month. That's crazy.
But now it's like the prices, the minimum amount that you would pay would be at least double, at least $400 to $600. That's, I'm talking about like in the capital city.
So apart from renting in Bulgaria, how much does it cost to buy a home?
Well, it used to be quite cheaper compared to here in the US. But nowadays, like prices have gone up. I guess it's inflation everywhere, like worldwide. I don't want to give false information. Fact check. So, according to latest information from Google. In the outskirts of Sofia, like the capital city, we call it 2-room apartment. So it's about like 60 to 65 square meters. The minimum prices would be about $80,000 to $90,000 US dollars.
To buy the home.
Wow. But then it can go up to $280,000 depending on the location.
Girl.
Is this cheap?
I just went to like San Diego recently where $1 million home USD is like minimum for like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom.
This is Bulgaria, come on.
So that's a good price. We're tempted to
Go back?
yeah
And invest?
yeah
Maybe. For retirement.
new business venture.
I told you I moved several times. So one thing that was quite a big shock was like how convenient it is to move in Korea. The moving companies, that's just a different level. Like I loved it so much. Like you don't even have to move a finger and they'll do everything for you. Not only they would move you out, but they will like put everything back in your new home. So
I was also surprised by this, like when they take photos to see how you have it set up and then they replicate it in the new house. I was so shocked.
did? Wow.
It's crazy.
But I think the most thing that was like quite surprising for me was the Sadaricha, the ladder car.
Yes.
That goes up to like, 20 floors up there. And I was like, this is crazy. So I have like multiple videos of the car.
Me too. But I guess that's the only way you can do it if you have 20-story high building.
I think Korea is like, has it the most comfortable way of moving houses.
They've
It's
got
great.
a good system. So how's the food?
Food is great. It's like one of my favorite Korean dishes, honestly.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you getting full? I'm a little full.
A little full, but I can still go more.
Well, let's enjoy the rest of this meal then. Thank you so much for joining us today. Like, I learned so much about Bulgaria, and it was really interesting, like comparing Bulgarian culture and Korean culture. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and comment below what you thought was the most shocking difference between Bulgaria and Korea. Thank you, everybody. See you next time.
See you next time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lunch Hour English. I am at the Han River Park, and we've got some chimak, and I am ready to eat. But before we do, I want to introduce you to our very special guest today.
Hi, I'm Taz. I'm from the UK and I'm a producer here in Seoul and a food content creator. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for
excited.
coming. Before we get too much into it, should we dig in?
Yes,
All
I'd
right.
love to. That's so crunchy. Gyeocheon is actually not my go-to, but I do like gyeocheon.
Okay, what's your
Yeah.
go-to?
Puradak.
Fancy girl. We're having non-alcohol today. We're being health queens.
Health
with our fried
queens.
chicken.
It's all about balance.
Exactly.
Cheers to good food, good friends, good life.
I will definitely
Okay,
cheers to
cheers.
that. So, Taz, can you tell me a little bit more about your work?
Yeah, I do kind of everything from content direction, production, videography, global marketing, those kind of things for Korean companies. Basically helping them and working with them to become global. I used to do that in the UK and now I started doing it here too. I had my own company in the UK, private chef company, and I got a TED talk out of that as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, can Influ English hire you?
Yeah.
Can you make
Yeah.
our videos?
Yeah.
Done. Everyone, our new employee. You do a lot of food content. What initially made you interested in cooking content?
I was always surrounded by food. Yeah, food was just a really big center of my life, I guess. And naturally, I learned how to cook through my grandmother and my mother, and I just grew up with it.
You kind of do your own cooking show. I've seen episodes where you cook with people, and it
Yeah.
seems like you kind of do fusion food. Do you have an all-time favorite Korean food?
Galbijim.
Galbijim. Wow, you answered that so quickly. Galbijim.
Yeah.
Do you have a food that you tried here that just isn't to your taste?
You know the bugs?
Oh, bondegi.
Bondegi. Do not recommend. Not for me. It was the idea of them more than the flavor of them. I'd be very happy if I never had that again.
Fair enough. Do you have like a Korean bucket list food?
Oh my God, on my Naver Maps, there are so many restaurants and cafes that I want to try. So I have tons on my bucket list. But food-wise, something I haven't tried is, you know, the octopus, the live octopus.
Sannakji.
Is that the name? I just call it wiggly octopus.
I'm always scared of it like suctioning to my throat.
Oh God, the thought of it is giving me shudders.
Is there a big difference between food from home and Korean food?
Yes, because of the history of British colonization and things like that, a lot of influence has come from other countries. Like the British national number one dish is chicken tikka masala, which is not British at all.
Yeah.
So growing up, I actually never missed out on foods from other countries. I had Korean food, so it's kind of lucky that the UK is a fusion pot in itself. Traditionally, British food is very much meat and potatoes. So it's a lot of meat pies, mashed potato, bangs and mash, beans on toast, all of which I love, by the way. It's just comfort food. Even though some people might find it bland, it is still comfort food and it means home to me too.
When I go to a lot of the restaurants here in Korea, they always ask me, oh, isn't it too spicy?
Yeah.
Do you get this? And
I get it, and then I have to say to them, number one, I'm used to it. Number two, I'm South Asian. It's in my blood. There's a difference in spice as well. You know the numbing sensation you get from malatang? I don't like that. But I do like kimchi spice, the fragrant spice. Have you tried the stir-fried octopus? It's flavorful spicy. The gochujang spice, kimchi spice is good, yeah. When I go to restaurants, are you okay with that? I was like, hit me with level 5.
For me, the eating culture in Korea was very different from the US. For example, everyone shares meals here. I love it now, but when I first came, it was really strange for me because I'm used to everyone ordering their own.
In the UK, it is kind of similar, so everyone just orders their own dish and you just eat. But again, I feel like I have an advantage with my South Asian background. So when I came, it wasn't a surprise because I was already used to it from my own background. But I really love the culture here in terms of the sharing stuff too. You get to try more things. I love going out with my foodie friends because we literally can order like 2, 3, 4 different things and we'll just share it and stuff ourselves. I love the sharing aspect, and that's what food is. Food is community. It's such a representation of togetherness. Whether you cook together and eat together and you share stories and culture, and it's just nice.
That's really sweet.
I'm gonna cry.
One of the things I love about eating out here
Yeah.
is the refillable free banchan. When I go to the US, I'm so disappointed. I'm like, where's my free side dishes?
I visited the UK and I went to a Korean restaurant and I asked for more kimchi and they were like, oh, that's £2 extra. No! But because I love kimchi, I did order more, so I paid £2 for this much kimchi.
Is Korean food in the UK like super overpriced?
Yeah, because it's trending.
That K-wave. Like we lived in New York before coming here, and I hadn't been to Korea yet. And so I had no idea how much I was overpaying for stuff. Like, I think I bought a bottle of soju for like 15 USD or something crazy. And we had like a $25 bibimbap. It's not that it wasn't delicious. I have never been to the UK before. I've heard the stereotype that British food is not the most delicious kind of food. Can you defend yourself here?
Modern British food is flavorful because it is seasonal. British food has evolved a lot. What dish comes to your mind if you think of British food?
Fish and chips.
It's one of the comfort foods I miss the most. It's so simple. It's literally fish and potato. But when you have it from a local fish and chip shop, you can smell fish and chips from a mile away, and it's the most inviting, gorgeous smell ever. Oh my God,
Amazing.
yeah.
I'm sold. The rumor is false, guys. I've just heard that it's a bit bland.
If you had something bland, they probably didn't use the right thing or they didn't cook it well.
You know, in Korea, I think the delivery food system here is unmatched. You can order anything, any time of day. It comes within 10 minutes. I mean, we're at the park and they brought fried chicken to us. How is it in the UK?
Nothing like that at all. That's one of the things I love about Korea is the convenience. In the UK, it's quite expensive to order delivery food, so it's quite a rare treat. And on top of that, it takes a long time. So it's really not that convenient. But here, takeout food is actually a lot cheaper than groceries. So ordering delivery food is really easy. And they all deliver anywhere. They deliver it in the Hand River, probably on a speedboat. It wouldn't surprise me. Do you know
Swim
what I mean?
out to you. We did an RV trip and we were in a random parking lot. I don't even know where we were. And it was the middle of the night and we ordered pizza. And they somehow found us in the parking lot with the pizza. Only in Korea could this happen.
I went to a Heshik the other day and I wasn't drinking. I was just having like cola and stuff. And because I was like Nuna and Unni to all these people, and I've been here long enough now that I've very much assimilated into Korean culture, I paid.
And you didn't even drink?
I didn't even drink.
Ah, you're a good Nuna.
I'm a good Nuna.
So I did a live recently, and the viewers asked me to mimic a British accent. So I was wondering if you could help me out a little bit. Maybe teach me a sentence with the UK accent. Because we were saying how the UK accent sounds so posh and sophisticated and fancy. Like,
My accent is kind of a weird hybrid of English and Welsh combined.
it's a beautiful hybrid.
Thank you. I go from what my friends call posh accent to like gangster.
Can you give us a sentence? I'll try and mimic you.
Try this. Focus. Ready? Harry Potter went to get some water.
Harry Potter went to get some water.
Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter
went
went
to get
to get
some water.
some water.
Harry Potter went to get some water.
Harry Potter went to get some water.
Not bad. It needs a little practice, but it's fine. How do you say tomato?
Tomato.
Tomato. You add a D. Why do you add a D? I'm really bad at the American accent.
Can you try? Try the same sentence but American. Harry Potter went to get some water.
Wow, you really don't pronounce your T's. Harry Potter. When you get some water.
Basil.
Basil.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Oregano.
Oregano.
Apricots.
Apricots.
Filet.
Fillet.
Vitamin.
Vitamins.
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
Herb.
Herb.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Speed round. You are going to answer food questions.
Okay.
So these are like controversial food opinions.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready.
Wings with bone or boneless wings?
Wings with bone.
Mint chocolate, yes or no?
Yes.
Cilantro, yes or no?
Yes.
Pineapple on pizza,
Yes.
탕수육. Pour it on or keep it on the side?
Keep it on the side.
물냉면 or bibinneng면?
Bibimbap.
All right, nailed it.
Yeah.
Taz, thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Lunch Hour English. Today I am at a Chinese Korean restaurant and we've got all kinds of delicious food in front of us here. Jajang, champong, tangsu, all of the Korean classics. I'm excited to dig in, but first I will introduce you to my very special guest today. This is my friend Jem. So will you introduce yourself?
Hi there, everybody. I'm Jem. I'm from Hawaii in the USA. I've been living in Korea over 10 years. Yeah, a long time. And I'm currently working as an English teacher also. And I'm running my own English academy in Sincheon.
You're a boss babe.
I'm a boss babe. Try my best. But I'm a big fan of jampong here, so I got this one. But jjajangmyeon, 탕수육, all of them, I'm a big fan.
I don't think I've ever had Chinese food this early or this sober. So, you ready to dig in? So, you mentioned that you're running a hagwon in Hongdae.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? It is a big accomplishment. So, how was it like opening a business in Korea and what brought you to do that?
I've actually been running this academy for 10 years, as long as I've been here, yes.
I didn't realize that. I mean, for me as a foreigner in Korea, like thinking the prospect of opening your own business here, it's kind of scary.
In the beginning, it's a lot of trial and error, and there were things that I didn't think of. Interior design and space and the size of a classroom and the distance between me and the student. There are a lot of little aspects that you really need to consider when you open the business or open a kind of study space.
That's amazing though.
Thanks. For me, teaching has kind of always been my passion. Before I was kind of doing here, there lessons, but I kind of wanted to teach with my own philosophy, which is kind of giving feedback to students. A lot of times people go to academies and they sit down with a book, but I think that's really not as helpful as actually engaging in conversations. So I like to do a lot of conversation and feedback-based activities. I just want to make sure that they have as much talking time as possible, because a lot of people, they speak in English and they're afraid of making mistakes. And even if they make a mistake, well, nobody tells them, and then you might end up making the same mistake again. So I just try to help them out, tell them gently, and after that they feel a little bit more confident. Because even if we study it all day with a book, when you come face to face, hey,
it's so different.
Right, you freeze up.
I think confidence is key actually when it comes to learning a new language. So that's really great.
Yeah. I actually also teach moms and kids together. Mom can also learn from ABCD. It is totally okay.
So actually a lot of our viewers are in that kind of situation. So we have a lot of moms who are teaching their kids English. Maybe they're not totally fluent, but they want to help their kid learn English. So do you have any advice for parents out there? How can they help their kid get more fluent in English?
Yeah, two things really come to mind. The first thing is, even if you, the mother, are not fluent in English and you're afraid that if I teach them the wrong thing, they're going to learn the wrong thing. Don't worry about that. Just introducing it into the environment, making it comfortable, is a really good idea. And I would say the second one is just acknowledge your own child's learning style. Not every kid can look at the book, write down 100 words. If your kid loves music, try introducing songs. If your kid loves exercising, dancing, move your arms, anything like that, just kind of recognize what is the way that your own child can kind of absorb this information the best.
That's really good advice because I agree, everyone learns differently.
Totally.
So I love that it's a very personalized approach. You doing this on top of being a mom.
Oh yes, I also have my own kids.
Wow. How old are your kids?
So my oldest is, I have a daughter. She is 8 years old, international age, and she is in the 2nd grade of elementary school. And my youngest, my son, he's 5, and he is in kindergarten.
Aww, that's so sweet. Do they go to regular Korean school?
Yeah, they go to just regular Korean kindergarten, regular Korean elementary school.
How's their experience with that?
For my daughter, at first, she said she had a hard time with actually Korean letters. However, after about 2 or 3 months, they really teach it a lot in school. She's very good at it now. And for my son too, getting along with his classmates. As a mother of multiracial kids, my husband is Korean, so my children are mixed. I was worried, are they gonna fit in? Nobody really cares. So, actually, Korea is also becoming more multicultural. She's not the only one. Yeah, so there are more. They blend pretty well. The kids play very well during class time.
That's good. They speak all Korean,
all
right?
Korean all the time.
So I'm curious, do you speak English with them at home or do you speak Korean with them?
You might have heard there's a few techniques for how to raise bilingual children. And we adapt one technique, which is called one parent, one language, where each parent chooses their native language to use to the child. So I only speak English and my husband only uses Korean. When we're together, it does sound funny, but the children will respond to me in English and respond to their father in Korean.
Wow.
And even funnier, sometimes they will translate between us. We can understand, but they will actually translate between us.
That's so cute.
Yes. Some people do the environmental method, like all English at home, all Korean outside.
Wow, for them to be learning 2 languages at such a young age, that's such a big advantage for their future, I think.
It's amazing to see the actual process myself from being a baby up to this age. I can see that exactly right around 3.5 years old is where the languages start to blend and they get confused, but then they have this burst of language and suddenly they can distinguish which one is English, which one is Korean. It's really cool.
That would be really interesting, the progression.
Yes.
I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that bilingual kids are taking a little bit longer to start speaking more. Do you find that true?
I think you're totally right, and I was also panicking too because up to 18 months, right? I'm like, why are they not talking? But after 18 months, boom.
Okay.
Suddenly they can speak 2 languages. So the development was slower, but then it came all at once. And then can't stop talking. Can suddenly use high-level words. Where did you hear that? That's for the moms too. If they're thinking, oh, my kid's not learning English fast enough. No. They're processing. They probably know it. They're just not showing you.
So your kids go to school here in Korea. Before sending them to school here in Korea, you have any concerns, or did you consider sending them to American schools?
Yeah, absolutely. I worried a lot about, they're very strict here in Korea about the studying style. Is kind of repeat, memorize, do everything quickly. Kind of about just getting the right answer. Whereas in the US, they tend to focus more on expressing your creativity. And if you answer the question logically, like if you can prove why you chose this answer, then the teacher will give you a good score. So I think this was the huge difference I worried about.
Okay. Do you see your kids staying in Korea through college even?
I think ultimately I'll give them the choice when they're old enough to make their own decision, but as a teacher, I'm not a huge fan of the cramming and test-taking culture, because I do believe that some people can be very smart, but not everybody's good at taking a test. So I don't believe tests are the best way to judge somebody's intelligence. I do want them to be able to express themselves more. So in the end, I'm gonna let it be their decision.
Jem, thank you so much for joining me today. I learned so much from you and your teaching method. I do have kids in the future. I know who I'll be sending them to.
Oh, this is sweet. Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you. This was delicious, and I'm so full. And it's amazing lunch hour English with you. So thank you so much.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lunch Hour English. As you can see, we are already enjoying some Korean barbecue, and it is fantastic. And I have a very special guest with me here today. I'm with my friend Zay. Zay, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hey, my name is Zay. I'm from the States, originally Texas, grew up in South Carolina. I've been in Korea for about 6 or 7 years now. I teach, I do a little bit of modeling, sports coaching a little bit. I do a lot of running. I live by the motto or the mantra of an active life is a healthy life, and a healthy life is a happy life. And so I try to spread that with all my friends and my community.
I love that motto. So I've got to ask you, since you're originally from Texas barbecue or Korean barbecue?
I'm actually part Korean. I'm a fourth Korean. So I grew up with the Texas barbecue from my grandpa. He'd grill out, do brisket and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
my grandma would bring like galbi and stuff, and they'd like mix it up. So I'm a huge fan of galbi, but I do love good brisket. I think each culture has its own really good
Okay,
barbecue. So.
skirted that question.
Smart.
Oh, I didn't know that you're fourth generation Korean too. So the way I met Zay is he does like running events. He hosts events once a month.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I've been running consecutively for about a little over 3 years now. So I started planning kind of more social runs. I did a color run, a costume run, just kind of runs more focused on community and kind of meeting people and stuff like that.
So I actually got to know about Zay on Instagram because at the time you were running from Seoul to Busan. I've never really heard of someone doing that before. It's unbelievable, really.
I believe the total ended up being like 456 kilometers, and it averaged to be about 50 or so a day.
Oh my god.
I started this run streak, and it was really just a run challenge at the time. I was in quarantine twice back to back for close contact through COVID. And so I'm in quarantine, and when you're stuck inside for 24 hours, 7 days a week, you're like, dang, that's a lot of time in the day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself to do a 5K for the month of March. So I did it. I got out March 1st. I started March 2nd. As I'm running, I don't feel like I'm done. I feel like I could do more. Even though I accomplished the goal I set, if I stopped now, I feel like I would be limiting myself. So I was like, you know what? Let's see what April's like. And after I got to April, same thing. And I was like, you know what? 60 days.
You want to push yourself.
60 days is kind of close to 100 days, you know? It's like, let's see what 100 feels like. So I get to day 365 of me running. I'm very intentional about the things that I say to myself because your body is always listening. Your body is taking a record, whether you realize it or not. And if you say you're going to do something enough times and you don't do it, your body's like, you want to actually do it this time. And so your body will give out on you.
Oh.
But if your body knows that no matter how hard it is, your body's not going to give up on you because it's like, nah, he means it. We got to find a way to make it happen.
You're super inspired. I'm like getting all these thoughts in my head right now.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to run Seoul to Busan. And then it came the process of like kind of planning it out and figuring out how. to get it done.
It seems like a lot of logistics actually, like where are you gonna stay? How did you run on the highway? Like,
there were moments where I'm running on the highway, there were moments where I'm running on like country roads, getting chased by dogs early in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
But more importantly, getting attacked by bugs.
Oh no.
And it's like not even like the regular bugs that you think of. So like your bug spray that you got doesn't work, and so you've got like these big masks and stuff. I knew it was going to be really hot, but that was something I didn't plan for. Yeah, it was like 34, 35 degrees most days. And as we're running on this like country road, someone's honking at me, and I was like, oh crap, who's honking at me? I look back, and this random ajushi has a fresh ice cold bottle of water, and he's like, 조심해, 조심해, like be careful, you know, and he's like gives it to me, and I'm like,
so
what?
sweet.
And so we get to this coffee shop, we go in, she's like, oh yeah, I'm open. And I sit down on this table, order coffee, and I'm looking around trying to find something I can put my feet up on, because the socks I was wearing at the time weren't compression socks, so they weren't really circulating the blood in my feet well, so there's a huge buildup of blood in my front two toenails.
I saw your stories.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of blood built up in my two toenails. And the only way to get it down was to like kind of prop my feet up and let the blood just go da-dum, 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 da-dum. She's like, wait, like why are you sitting like that? And I was like, 피가 있어요, down. She goes, comes back, has these two ice packs, and she puts them down on the ground. She's like, step on them. I'm taking my shoes off, and I put my feet on the ice packs. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
She gets down and starts bare hand massaging my feet, trying to help circulate the blood. It was an amazing experience because one, I felt so awkward.
Yeah.
Because like I was so grateful for her kindness, but at the same time, my socks were so, I'm smelly, I'm stinky, and she's there bare hands massaging my feet. I was so moved by her kindness. The trip itself reminded me of a lot of things, but more importantly, it reminded me of how kind Korea is. Like I think being in Seoul, you kind of forget that sometimes. Everyone's got their own agenda, and just because everything's moving so fast.
Yeah, that's incredible. Even for me, I watch the news, and it's a lot of like bad things happening, and it's easy to get into your mindset like, oh, the world is, such an ugly place, and there's bad people. There is still so many like kind people and nice people.
From Gumi to Daegu, the worst bugs I've ever seen. Like swarms of bugs.
Oh no.
Just like swarms of gnats. And they're just trying to get in your ears, trying to get in your nose, trying to get in your eyes.
I can't run away fast enough.
When we were kind of prepping stuff, and me was like, yo, do you think we need bug spray? I look at him like, bro, I'm fast. They ain't gonna catch me.
Yeah.
Man, they might catch you on the bike. They ain't gonna catch me. It's like country, But luckily, he had bought like 3 like masks, and they kind of like, they pull over here. And without that,
You would have.
I might have lost it.
Yeah,
Like
you're like, I'm going back to
mentally,
Seoul.
I would have lost it because you put your hand back, you feel a handful of them in your hands. Honestly, I would have much preferred if they were like mosquitoes.
So you've been going for roughly 1,300?
Yeah. So today is day 1,310.
Wow, 1,310 days straight of running.
Outside. Cold, rain, blistering heat, all that jazz.
How long do you plan on continuing this? Or is there a plan? I'm sure you get asked this a
Yeah,
lot.
I get asked that a lot. But I feel like every day is day 0. And I say that because no matter how hard yesterday was, no matter how much you did, no matter how hard you worked, or how successful you were, if that, you have to do things that intrinsically move you, give you passion, that give you life, that give you energy, that help move you forward.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite quotes is like, we didn't come this far just to come this far.
Taking accountability.
Yeah, it's exactly. Taking accountability for your life.
I canceled on our last run.
I didn't mean to point at you, my bad.
No, I'm just shrinking a little. That was a good lesson though. We have a lot of people here watching that are like trying to learn a new language, which is not an easy task, right?
Me too.
It's a journey, and it's easy to give up. For people embarking on this journey of learning English, if you can just give like one practical tip for maintaining that discipline, because I think you're a very disciplined person.
Do it as long as you think that you can do it. As much as you think you can do it. Whether it's 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week, and then just do 1 day more. And you'll surprise yourself what doing 1 day more will do for you. People don't realize that goals and excuses can be just as limiting, because I think a lot of times goals are often made based in your realm of comfort. A lot of times we set goals that are just outside of our comfort level, but when you reach that goal, you can't let that be the limiting factor in your life. You have to train yourself of pushing to that limit and going a little bit further and seeing what you can do. I'm nowhere near perfect. There's some parts of my life where I really struggle, but at the same time, that's not going to make me quit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lunch Hour English. Today, I am having street food at Namdae Moon Market with my favorite street interviewer. If you're on social media, you probably recognize his face, so he doesn't need an introduction, but still,
Come on.
will you please introduce yourself?
Well, hi guys. My name is Jerry, the creator of K-Explorer, and thanks for having me at Lunch Hour. I am from Nigeria and have been living in Korea for 7 years now. So I came to Korea back in 2017.
Wow.
How long have you been in Korea?
Since, 2015, actually.
How was Korea back then?
The city is always growing and evolving. Yeah, it's been really cool watching it grow, actually.
It's beautiful.
I already got us started with some yache hotdog.
Right. What is it made of? I have no idea what it is.
It's like a pancake stuffed with vegetable and glass noodles.
Love it.
It is so popular here, so I had to go there early to line up because there was a long line already.
It's very greasy. Is it healthy?
Just don't think about that.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, I'll just try. Yeah, this is my first time
Okay.
having a market food. Yeah, and also like my first time having hot dog.
I'm so honored that it's your first time.
I mean, do I have a choice, Callie? Do I?
Dragged him here.
Good. After you, though. After you. Wow. I love how crispy it is. It looks greasy, but it doesn't taste greasy.
I have many questions to ask you today.
Please. Go easy on it, please.
Easy peasy. Big fan of your K-Explorer channel.
I appreciate you.
I always see it popping up and you've got some really interesting content. What was your inspiration for starting this channel? Why did you want to do street interviews?
I watched a lot of Asian Boss. Back when I watched Asian Boss, that was back in 17, 18. There was a lot of hype around like street interviews. And K-pop was also like a thing, you know, in 2017 with BTS, Blackpink, all that stuff, you know, coming out. So I was like, okay, how can I balance the two together? Because like nobody on the internet was doing it.
You need to put your own spin on it.
So that was how I actually got started with like K-Explorer.
Do you feel like you face rejection a lot? Are people willing to participate or do a lot of people say no?
That is actually a very good question because I feel like lately a lot of people like are just rejecting. There are a lot of more street interviews going on nowadays, or like just people don't have time, like they don't want to be on camera, you know, like all that stuff. So
They're
yeah.
hesitant, like feel shy
Right, I feel
or
shy,
something.
nice. A lot of reasons.
When you're like out on the street, how do you scope out who you want to interview?
The internet loves beautiful people or people that are just stylish, like people that are just creative, you know. Even if you have like a great like topic, people might not necessarily like resonate like with what you're saying. Try to like find that balance between interesting people versus okay like the topic and all that. So yeah.
Wow, you consider many things. So I think this was a good start to our food crawl here in the market, but how about we go to our next stop?
Sure, let's do that.
All
please.
right.
Oh my God, like everybody and their grandmother is out now. I was scared.
You go down all the little alleys and there's even like a noodle market. Feels kind of local too. Yeah, that's what I like about it.
I need to stop eating fried food, honestly.
After today.
Hey, let me do the ordering. 고기 만두 주세요. 5개. 네. 고기 만두만. 고기 만두. 튀김 고기 만두. 정말요? 튀김 고기 만두. 죄송해요. Right. I am so dumb.
That's okay.
I am so Oh my God.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Doing the street interviews with Koreans in Korean, it helps a lot. I remember like when I first started and it was about K-pop. I asked a simple question. He did not keep it simple. He was using like a lot of big words. This was back in 2019 when my Korean was still bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, I went to Google Translate. Google Translate did not help as well.
For editing, that must be hard too. Because interviewing, you can just be like, oh, nay.
Right. You can fake it,
But
yeah.
editing, you're like, wait, what did he say?
I know. So my earlier videos, I made a lot of mistakes.
That's cool though. You've grown so much and gotten better at it.
When are we gonna have this mango though?
Cheers.
Cheers. But I would say I prefer the, you know, like the 호떡.
Me too, actually. I think that's why it's so famous. I don't know if we can beat that.
Probably not.
I did see you do an interview with Jay Park.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I got lucky with that.
How was that?
Awesome, honestly. When I started like just creating content, I always wanted to like interview idols because like I was talking about K-pop. That was my end goal actually, and it never happened. Worked 4 years hard. I just switched, like to what I'm doing right now, and opportunity just came. I'm grateful.
That's actually really inspiring because you had this goal in mind and you said you weren't getting there, but you switched gears and did something different, and then it got you there. So sometimes you just need to go a different path, I guess.
So true.
Now you're dabbling into celebrity interviews.
But Jay Park, honestly, like it happened like so randomly.
Let's see it in person.
He's extremely chill. He
Yeah.
is so down to earth. So like there was no, like, okay, I'm a celebrity, you're a fan type of thing.
I was so excited for you when I saw that. I was like, oh my
Thank you,
gosh,
Jerry.
Jerry! If you had the chance to interview anyone in the world, who would be like your dream interview?
Oh man, Taunu. Right, like we're the same age. It's beautiful.
He is beautiful. Hit him up in the DM.
It doesn't work like that, Cal. It's not that easy, It's because I watch a lot of Korean movies. Dramas, please.
Okay.
So they had a Busan Film Festival. If they had invited me, oh boy, I would have been grateful. I've been
Been on the
looking.
red carpet.
I know.
What? Say, come on, Busan Film Festival.
Exactly,
What
please.
you
I don't
doing?
invite me, please. Bye.
Here's your man.
I'll tell you that's one of my my goals, like in the future.
You're on your way there for sure.
Hopefully that happens.
Mandu was good, but we've still got one more stuff left.
Oh,
so
really?
how about we head out and see what else we can find in the market?
Up to you.
In Nigeria,
yeah.
do they have local markets like this?
It's like it's not as well kept as this one. It's 'cause
Do a lot of locals go there?
everybody and the grandmother.
So it must be packed too.
No, it's back.
Oh, wow, it's popping now though.
handmade fish cake.
Oh. 감사합니다. My first time trying this actually.
Oh no, same here. Yeah.
Oh, we're in this together then.
Right.
This is really good. I'm kind of surprised because I'm kind of pickier with seafood, but this is nice.
I mean, I'm scared of the stick though. It seems like I'm eating like off of like a weapon. You're definitely gonna get me fat, Gary.
Our next interview can be at the gym.
I don't go to the gym. You go to the gym? No, you don't. Okay.
Do you have any other like goals or visions for K-Explorer?
I mean, just being, I don't know, like the biggest street interview channel in Korea, and also helping like people understanding like the Koreans and also like the Korean culture better.
For sure.
Yeah.
I like your interviews a lot because they seem very like authentic, unscripted.
Oh, it is very unscripted. I'm not necessarily like fishing for a certain type of answer or like none of that. Just have a conversation. Yeah.
That's cool.
What is
Okay.
your embassy?
INFP.
What is that?
Introverted.
Why I'm introverted?
I wouldn't guess this though.
Yeah.
Guess it because you talk to so many people, strangers. You're good at conversation.
I mean, it's part of the job. I'm very introverted. If I'm not like doing show interviews, I won't be able to meet people.
You hear a lot of different stories. And we have a lot of people learning English on our channels. Based on your experiences talking with so many people, learning Korean yourself, do you have any advice for people trying to learn a different language?
Surround yourself with just that language alone. Just listen to English always. Songs and movies and...
Callie's YouTube.
Oh, yeah, Cali's too. Yeah, for real, yeah. That is so true.
This is the end of our market tour. I'm kind of sad. I had a lot of fun today.
That is beautiful. No, same here.
Did you have a favorite food that we ate?
Oh, yeah, the first one, hotel. It's a no-brainer.
Right?
And you?
Worth the line. I'm with you. So
yeah.
if you come to Namdae Moon, brave that hotdog line. It's worth it.
The other famous market.
Gwangjang.
Oh, Gwangjang Shijang. Right. I didn't know all the markets.
I'm a market goer.
Thank you for taking me to like the Shijang.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lunch Hour English. We are at the office today and on our lunch break, as you can see, and I've got a very special guest with me today. So, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone. My real name is Stefania, but in Korea I'm doing YouTube and also TV things with the name Hanteri, which is the connection of Hanguk and Italy.
Oh, that's why. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Because I'm the person in the middle of these two countries, right?
Oh, that's clever.
I'm from Italy and I've been living in Korea for 10 years now.
Can you tell us about your work?
I'm working in the live operation team, so I'm taking care of everything that is connected to the live part. We take care of stream creators. So we are trying to find a good strategy to have more people interested and the people that are already using the app be more happy with the app.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
A lot of work.
yeah.
Especially because it's a global application. So we have so many people we work with.
You work with people from all over the world then, it's very global.
Yeah, it is.
Is that tricky with time differences?
Oh my God. We work also with people in the US. Someone is in Los Angeles, someone is in New York. And then we also have people in France. So trying to have one meeting with everyone is like impossible. And also our live is 24 hours. And if there is a problem with a creator or our app at like 11 p.m., then sometimes you have to take care of that too.
What are your normal work hours?
The best part of this company is that you can choose when you want to start, you can choose when you want to stop. But for my team, since we have a lot of meetings thinking about what to do for this event, that event, so we usually start at around 9 or 10 a.m. And then
What is it, like 11 p.m. or something?
we should end at around 7 p.m. But most of the time can be also 8, 9.
Woo, that's a long day.
We can also work from home.
Oh, anytime you want?
Yep.
Are they hiring? Sign me up.
By the way, Italian drinking Americano, it happens when you work for a Korean company. This is water.
So this is not your drink of choice then?
When I'm in the company, you need Americano to survive. Yeah. Usually when I'm at home, I have espresso.
Italy, you worked for a Korean company?
Yeah, I worked for a Korean travel agency and we were taking care of groups coming from Korea. I work every day like using Korean, having to write things in Korean, everything in Korean.
That's actually really interesting. You think the work culture was more similar to
It was
Korean?
Korea. We would do 회식 almost every day.
Really? In Italy?
In Italy.
Wow.
And I would work also on weekends. I would do a lot of extra hours.
And that was your first
Yes.
job? Oh my gosh.
So I got trained
used to
so well that now everything is not shocking anymore. So actually I started to study Korean when I was in high school because of 동방신기. I actually went yesterday to the concert. I finally fulfilled my dream. When I went to university in Venice, I got into the Korean department. So I actually studied Korean before starting to work.
That's a great accomplishment though. Like how cool that you can say you're able to work in a different country in a way different environment and make it.
I'm really thankful actually because it's not easy to have that kind of chance.
For sure. What does your normal day-to-day life look like at the office?
We have a lot of meetings. So most of my day is meetings. We have an event that is starting, then we take care of all the event page, the banners, event page, feed images, and take care of the comments. And then I have to ask the translation team to translate everything in all the languages. And then if we are releasing a new product, then we are also working with the product team. It's just meetings and meetings. I don't have a specific schedule. Every single day is a bit of a big change. So in the morning I'm like, oh yeah, today I will probably do this and this, but most of the time I'm not able to do that. Most of the time something comes out every single time.
You have to be very flexible.
Yeah, exactly. But now I got used to it. Actually, I find that part really fun. It's not always the same boring tasks. And I also like to have so many meetings because it's a bit tiring. But on the other hand, you get to know different point of views. Especially for me, my background wasn't related to this job. So I'm lacking a lot of knowledge on that and listening to other people's ideas. It's really inspiring.
That's a good attitude. I don't think many people would say like, oh, I'm so happy we have a lot of meetings. You're a very positive person.
As long as I learn, I'm really happy with that.
Your company is very lucky to have you.
Okay, I'm lucky to be in this team actually. Like we support each other. Like for example, if I make a mistake, my team leader is not like, She's like, oh, okay, let's try to find a solution as fast as possible. Just remember to not do it the next time. But I'm sure you had a really hard time about this. I'm like, and I don't think that's easy to find, right? I feel I'm really, really like.
That's good. It's like a good environment. Then. I don't know too many people working in Korean companies, you know, foreigners working in Korea here, but I have heard some people complain that the culture difference is just too big for them to get used to. It's a huge adjustment and there can be some issues.
My first company was a Korean one. It was a tough one. So I already saw everything. When I first got into this company, they were like asking me if I were okay. You care about me? Oh. I work extra hours and I get paid for extra hours? Really? I get a contract? Really? I have vacation days? I can use that?
The hierarchy.
Oh, we don't have that. We just have nim, and we have just a team leader, and then we are all just team. But in the travel agency, that was 사장님, 과장님, 실장님.
That's a lot to remember.
Yeah, it was. Our 회식, usually it's at lunchtime. We eat a buffet or like fancy things. That's 회식? And alcohol.
So
and listening to all the chancery of 사장님. We have to do better. We can do this. Yeah.
Now you're living the good life.
Yeah.
Any culture from Italy, how they work.
In Italy, they don't work.
They don't work?
We are famous globally for not working. And the communication between the two countries is so difficult because Koreans, when they ask you for something, they want the answer as soon as possible. So, for example, by today or in 3 hours. And the Italian company is like, yeah, by today, okay. And then you have to call again. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll send it to you. And then 3 days pass. Also, I was so shocked when we do a project here. We should add a new feature, for example. I'm like, oh, okay, then that's gonna take a lot of time. No, you start today. The feature must be out in 1 month.
Wow. Bali.
That
right?
was Italy. That would take 1.5 years, most likely. But I feel that in Italian companies, they're more open about their own thoughts. And they really care about your own situation. Whereas in Korea, is more, the company has its own situation. You have to adapt to that. So if the company right now is in a crisis, if I were in Italy, I would be like, that's your problem, not mine, right? As long as you give me my wage, I'm fine. But in Korea, it's more, the company has a problem. We all have to work together. We have to sacrifice for the company. I feel that's a big difference.
Do you have any goals for the future, like career-wise?
Actually, what I'm doing right now, I would have never thought I would be doing this. I didn't study anything connected to that. So it's really amazing how your life is not going the way you are planning. If I had a dream, maybe I would have worked hard for that dream, right? But since I don't have one, I just work hard on what I'm doing right now. And then if life is giving me another option, then I'm just gonna take it and see what I can learn from that. Yeah, I'm that kind of person.
I think that's a really good perspective, though.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're doing now. And I think it's totally fine not to have one dream. You can be happy doing what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My husband is a chef. So he wants to open his own restaurant one day. And if he does, most likely I'm going to work with him in the restaurant. And maybe we are going to open also a cafe. And then I will take care of the cafe. These are all the dream ideas we have. That could be in Korea. That could be in Italy. We still haven't decided on that.
You can do it. You bring some good Italian espresso to Seoul. Then we won't drink the ice Americano. Will you serve ice Americano at your cafe? Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Come back anytime. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Lunch Hour English. Today, I am at my family's cabin in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I am with the man that built this cabin, my grandpa. When did you build the cabin?
In 1994, after I retired.
How long did it take to build?
Altogether, probably 5 years, because it's a log cabin and they build slow.
That's a long time.
And maybe I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're gonna keep adding on, huh?
Well, there's always things to do, like my electrician apprentice today. His name is Han, and we put in a new light on the inside of the cabin today. Always projects at the cabin. A lot of work, and tomorrow we got more work to do. We got to cut a tree down. You know why? Because my apprentice electrician lost his dome in a tree, the very top of it. And we got to cut the tree down to get it out of there.
Wow, I hope that apprentice is very grateful.
Well, maybe we will have to charge them something for the tree. You know, trees are valuable here.
Yeah.
We don't have many trees here, just millions of them.
So what was the hardest part of building the cabin?
The roof. Originally, when we built it, the first roof we put on a shingle roof. And that is very common. In the Upper Peninsula, we get so much snow, sometimes up to 4 feet, and it don't come off the shingle roof. The shingle holds it. So we decide we want to put a metal roof on. Now the snow slides right off.
That's nice. Was it scary? Because the ceiling's very high.
It was all right because I was a lot younger then. I was a young whippersnapper. I could run around on that roof. But I have a lot of help to put it on.
Okay.
So that made it nice.
What made you decide to build the cabin in the first place?
Because we liked the woods. Mm-hmm. We liked to deer hunt. And we liked to vacation, and in the winter we would come up with snow machines with the family and with the little kids and the grandkids like you. We come up here for 4 or 5 days at a time and play out in the snow and make snowmen and go up and down the hills on the toboggans. You remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
Okay.
Lots of good memories.
Make big bonfires, roast hot dogs, marshmallows.
So that was kind of your vision for the cabin, a place for family?
It was strictly for family, not for profit, because I could sell this for lots of money. But it's more for family, because we love family. If you don't have love and family and faith, you're in big trouble.
Do you have a favorite memory here?
I have so many favorite memories. Maybe when everybody surprised me for my 80th birthday.
Oh,
that was big because they fly in from all over the United States for this party. They make a big to-do out of it.
Were you really surprised?
Oh, I start crying. So happy.
It's a very remote place, but you have some good neighbors here.
Oh, we have excellent neighbors. They come all the time. Just like the ones that are coming to cut the tree down tomorrow to get Hong's airplane out of there.
You guys help each other out up here.
If you need help, all you have to do is mention it to somebody and they come.
That's
they come
cool.
and help. And in the other respect, if they need help from us, we're there to help them too. Just like tomorrow, we got to take you out 12 miles through the mud and rain and snow and hope
right?
we don't get stuck, right,
Family's
girl?
important, right?
You gonna bring your shovel?
I'll shovel us out. How did you decide on this location? Because I can imagine back in the 90s.
It's a lot different than today. I start coming up here to hunt. The deer, that was in 1973, and we fall in love with the Upper Peninsula woods, and we decide to buy this piece of property, and then we develop this piece of property into this camp. And we enjoy making it available for the family to come. Looking forward to having more family come.
Is that a hint? Before you even started the cabin and there was nothing, how do you start a project like this, building a whole cabin out of nothing?
First, you have to buy the property. Then you have it surveyed to know where your property is for sure. So after you find the property, you find out where you want to build, then you have to have somebody come with a bulldozer, level everything off so that you can build there. Then, before you start building, you got to have water. Then when you get the water, then you can start thinking about what you want to build. How big a cabin do I want? So now that you can have the cement people come and put a foundation in to bring it up where you want it, and then you start putting the wood together.
Wow.
When I came and did all that, that was in June, and then I start building the logs. And I stayed until December before I went home, all by myself.
By yourself?
Up in the woods. And then on the weekends, my wife Shirley, she would come, and she would help me for 2 days. And then she'd kiss me on the cheek and wave and go bye-bye. She'd go to Saginaw. And so then I'd be here by myself until the next weekend. And then she'd bring me more eating supplies so that I didn't starve up here.
No restaurants around here,
No
right?
restaurants around here. 75 miles away. The next thing you do, you put in the water and you put in a bathroom because you get tired of going to the outhouse. The outhouse gets cold in the wintertime.
Not pleasant.
Not pleasant at all. Then you start putting walls in and closing things off, and then you put doors on,
So it's all step by step.
and they're all baby steps because you do everything by yourself. And the reason that I was able to do most of this work by myself is because I did it prior to building this. I helped my dad build his house. I was an electrician at work, so I know how to do electrical work. Well, when you work around skilled trades, you see other skilled trades like plumbers doing their job. You watch, you keep your mouth shut, and you learn. You just watch and observe, and you can learn. You just pick it up.
That's pretty amazing.
You have mice come. They always come at night.
Don't tell me this.
That's when the
Oh,
little
no,
guys
no.
are running all over.
I don't need to know this, Grandpa.
Well, they'll wake you up when they run across your face.
Oh, geez. I'm going to be wide awake tonight. Sleep with one eye open. He said he saw 3 of them in the basement.
Yeah, we had them in the pail.
Oh, my gosh. So you like going out hunting?
Yeah, we enjoy hunting. Grandma Cole, she likes to hunt, and she don't shoot the little guy. She waits for the big guy.
What other kind of activities do you do up
Well,
here?
we go on the 4-wheelers now, visit other camps, see a lot of partridge. Every once in a while you'll see a bear, and then you stop and watch him.
Not scary?
He doesn't bother you. One day, Grandma and I was out on a trail, and we hear the dogs barking, and all of a sudden a bear charged out of the woods right straight at us.
No.
He didn't know that we were there. Do you know what your grandma did?
What?
She jumped up on top of the 4-wheeler to
took
get
off?
away from the bear. No, she was up there. The bear's coming, the bear's coming. But the bear, he sees us, and then he turns and he runs in the other way, you know.
That's funny. She didn't start the ATV?
She was, I don't know, too excited, too nervous, too what? I don't know.
Frozen in fear. To be fair, I don't know how I would react either.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, well. But then we laugh at each other and make fun of each other. We get back home safe, so.
That's good.
Yeah, we had fun that day.
So the people watching our video, any advice?
Well, I think you have to realize that you only have one life. You want to make the most of it. But enjoy your life as you go. Take time with the family because time goes on. It does not stop for anybody. When I was working, I worked 7 days a week. I didn't have time for my family. I was making money for my family, but I didn't have time to do anything with my family. At some point, your life ends. Slow down. Don't try to think that you're going to, if you work 24 hours a day, you're going to get ahead because you're not. You're going to destroy your body, so just relax. Try to do the best you can, but enjoy your time with your family because your family is most important.
Yes, that's a good reminder.
And take time and build yourself a cabin out in the woods.
There you go. How long have you guys been together, you and Graham?
66 years.
Can you give some relationship advice?
2 words. Yes, dear. It always works. Yes, dear. But with relationships, you have to have trust in each other, regardless what it is. You got to have trust in your partner in order to make it work.
Thanks so much for sharing the story about the cabin.
That was fun. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm glad that you took time to come to the woods, spend some time, you and with Grandma and Grandpa, and you're always welcome. And I hope I've given some people some advice and hope to see you again, maybe. All right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Welcome back to Lunch Hour English, where you can improve your listening skills and hear inspiring stories from around the world. Today's guest is a musician from China who's living in Dubai, recently released a new single, and can speak more than 7 languages fluently. Please welcome Sunny Lucas.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me.
What's up, guys? My name is Sunny Lucas. I am a Chinese pop R&B singer-songwriter, and currently I have a new single called Deja Vu, which is out now.
It is like deja vu when it comes to me and you.
It's so good, guys. I listened to it. It's really nice.
Sing it!
How did you get started in music?
I started at a very young age, actually. I was forced to play the piano, just like every traditional household in China. I didn't really like it, but then I picked up the guitar at the age of 13, and then I was all self-taught, and I started doing a bunch of covers. And then I discovered Justin Bieber, and then he really made a huge impact on my career. It was kind of like my tool to impress, the crush that I had at that time.
Serenading all your girlfriends.
Not girlfriends, no.
Potential girlfriends. So where did you study abroad?
So, growing up in Hong Kong, I went to Canadian school. And then I actually studied a little bit out in Shrewsbury. In the UK. And then after that, I went to high school in Taft in Connecticut. Then Berklee College of Music.
Wow, so international. Did you study music or what did you study at Berklee?
Berklee College of Music is a music school.
Cut that out. I meant to ask, what was your specific discipline there?
Oh, got you.
Yes.
Well, I studied music production and engineering.
Wow, you're very talented. So tell me about your new single, Deja Vu. How did that come about? Like, what was your inspiration for that?
Deja Vu, it's French. It's a very a touching story. I'm just really happy that it came together so perfectly, and then now it's finally out.
Congratulations, that's a big accomplishment. You said that Situationship was released prior to Deja Vu.
Yeah.
I like that song. It's so
Thank
catchy.
you so much,
Situationship, 来不及拒绝 Let me feel it open. Think about you often, yes.
I try to blend Mandarin and English together and try to make it super Y2K R&B-ish. That song actually I finished writing in a week.
Wow. Knowing so many languages, does that affect you as a musician?
Honestly, I only write in English. My whole thought process is in English, but whenever I can, incorporate Mandarin or Cantonese into my songs, I would definitely do that. I'm also recently trying to incorporate a lot of Spanish because I speak Spanish and I'm a huge fan of reggaeton music. So, why not?
That's cool. Mix it up a little bit. Can you explain the meaning of situationship?
It's kind of like a gray area between friendship and relationship. It's kind of like an unconfirmed, unofficial relationship, which doesn't want to be yet labeled. It's like, oh, we don't want to commit. It sucks. It would be cool if you're the one that's rejecting. It's but if you're the one that's being rejected, it's kind of like, ooh. I catch feelings instantly, honestly.
I do too. You wear your heart on your sleeve. Two sensitive souls here.
Are you Capricorn?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, that's why.
You're Capricorn?
Actually, yeah.
So do you have any plans for shows coming up or a tour, anything like that in the works?
Sure. Summer we do a bunch of school tours in the States, and then we do a lot of music festivals in China.
So US and China?
Yeah, great relationship.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's go!
What about Korea?
So Korea, I'm definitely gonna be doing a lot more, especially after this trip. I'll be back with a banger.
Awesome. Yeah. What languages exactly do you speak?
Let's just go with all the languages I know. English, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, French.
German, Russian, Italian, Portuguese, Greek, Arabic, Farsi, which is Persian, Urdu, Hindi, Korean, Japanese, Thai, Indonesian.
I ran out of fingers already.
I know all the Southeast Asia, Vietnam,
wow.
Tagalog.
Are they extremely different from each other?
I mean, Malaysian and Indonesian is kind of similar. Spanish and Italian is kind of similar. And then Mandarin, Cantonese is completely different.
How do you even begin to start learning these languages?
Honestly, I just have a huge curiosity for learning languages. It's my passion. It's what I do during free time. I would just go to the coffee shop and how do I ask for this in your language?
You're so proactive.
I think you just gotta be proactive. It's good to be open-minded. Just learn as much as you can.
We have a lot of people that are studying English, and I feel a lot of people say that they're always so nervous to practice speaking. They don't want to make a mistake. Do you have any kind of advice how to overcome that?
Honestly, I think just go for it. Some things might not be 100% accurate. I ask a lot of questions. I don't pretend to know everything. Don't be scared.
Fake it till you make it, right?
You just gotta fake it. And don't worry about the accent, honestly. As long as you can speak the language, people understand you, that's what matters.
So cool.
It's not complicated at all.
Yeah, not hard at all. No. Just knowing 15 languages. I feel you can go and order coffee comfortably.
It's so easy.
Can you talk politics?
For me, politics itself is a language. So it's a language that I don't want to learn. I prefer to learn love language and body language.
Check out the song Situationship.
Yes, let's go.
So what was the hardest language for you to learn?
I feel like the hardest language is definitely Russian. Vietnamese is also really, really difficult. Mandarin, honestly, is pretty hard too, I would say, in a very non-biased perspective. So
When you start learning a language, it can be really frustrating because
For
it's
sure,
so difficult. How do you kind of overcome that?
time and patience and just hard work. It depends on how much you want to learn the language. You literally gotta like speak it every day. Whatever you're doing, just like repeat to yourself. If you get a couple of phrases or words more than like 10 times, it's automatically ingrained. But you gotta like build that familiarity. So you just gotta keep repeating. It's like, how do you memorize a song, right? You just gotta repeat. Treat it like your favorite song. Put a melody to it. You know, for example, 뽀뽀해주세요. You know,
뽀뽀해주세요. That sounds like a real song.
We got an album coming out soon, the end of this year. And I got a couple more singles. I'm going to be featuring a lot of different artists around the world. We got a couple of Korean artists. Next time when I'm back, I'm going to be speaking fluent Korean.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our conversation. You had some really great insight.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I wish you all the best. I'm really looking forward to all your future music. I'll be watching closely. Hello, everybody. I am with a special guest today, my dad, and we are ready to eat today. He will be trying out different kinds of Korean food that we got from a market here, but actually he's already been to Korea. So do you really remember any of the Korean food that you've tried?
Korean barbecue. It was really, really good. And kimchi. I like kimchi.
Those are probably the two most popular Korean foods. Does any of this look familiar to you?
It's completely new to me. It all smells really good, I might say. It's got the whole kitchen smelling good.
We are going to start with this. This is called tteokbokki.
Tteokbokki.
Very good. That's perfect. Tteokbokki. If you were to just look at this, what would you guess that it is?
I would guess it's some type of noodles, cheese, and sauce. It looks good and it smells good.
Yeah, it looks like little gnocchi, kind of the little pasta.
Yes.
But it's actually rice cake. Usually it's super spicy. This one is cheese flavor, so it's a bit more mild. So we try?
Let's give it a whirl.
Let's dig in.
Good taste, good texture, yummy.
You like it?
I do.
Okay. Sometimes they'll have fish cakes inside, or I like it with ramen noodles. So they'll do different toppings, and they'll also do different kinds of sauces.
Can I have another
Of
one?
course. Eat as much as you like.
It's really good, really, really good. I like the sauce, and it's got a little zip to it. Not bad though, not over the top. I like it. 2 thumbs up.
All right.
Yep.
So out of 10, what would you rate this?
A 10.
Ooh, Boki fan.
Yeah, I like it because it's saucy, cheesy, chewy, gooey, yummy.
Eat as much as you like.
All right, then. No.
Jan's the true test.
Well.
Because she's a little pickier than my dad is, so she's the true test.
Well, chewy. Tastes pretty good.
Yeah?
So I'd probably give it maybe an 8.
Okay, hey, that's pretty good. So here we have Shin Ramen. We did about half of the spice packet, so it's not as spicy. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. They make a special bowl out of the wrapper here, and then go ahead and try it if you like.
I need the bowl.
Use the bowl.
Wow.
There you go.
All right.
You look Korean eating it like that.
Really?
Very Korean style.
It's good.
That's the way to do it, like a shot.
Tastes good. It is spicy. It clear your sinuses out, all right?
This is very popular, like when people go camping, they'll have this in the morning for breakfast after drinking a lot of beers or soju the night before. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd try it for breakfast. I'm more traditional bacon, eggs, cereal, but it's got a good taste to it. It's spicy. It's got a little bite to it.
Yeah. So if you can take a small piece of the kimchi, and then if you can get some noodles to eat it together with this. So kimchi is usually served as a side dish. So if you're eating noodles or rice, you'll eat it together. Perfect.
Okay. It's good.
Down the hatch.
I love the kimchi. I like the vinegary, pickly, and the texture. I can see why you'd eat it together.
Kimchi is like the national dish of Korea.
I like kimchi.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. No, I'm the guy that'll drink pickle juice right out of the jar, and this resembles that a little bit.
Wow, I can see where I get it from. I also drink pickle juice.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like father, like daughter. What do you rate the shin ramen out of 10?
I mean, me personally, I'm not a huge noodle guy. I'd go about an 8 on it.
How about the kimchi?
11.
Oh!
I love this. I do this. I could make a meal out of this.
This is black bean.
Black bean.
Noodle.
Okay.
It's called chapaghetti.
Chapaghetti. Chapaghetti.
Does it remind you of anything, the flavor?
I gotta have one more bite to make sure. Just to make sure. It's got its own unique taste. I'm trying to associate it with something that I'm used to, but nothing's coming to mind. It's good. It's a mild, mellow.
Which do you prefer, do you think, the shin ramen or the chapaghetti, if you had to choose?
If I had to choose, I'd say the shin ramen.
I'm a shin girl too.
Yeah?
Yep.
Only because I think that has more spices, where this is
Yep.
a little more not so spicy, I guess.
I agree. This is more flavorful.
Yeah.
Yep. This
Yep.
is kind of bland in a way.
Right.
Sorry to say that.
I better try
But-
another piece of kimchi with it.
There you go.
Mmm.
You dig the kimchi, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what would you rate the chapaghetti?
I'm gonna say 6, only because I guess I'm more of a spicy eater.
Yep. So this is called hetban.
Say it again.
Hetban.
Hetban.
Yep, hetban. And this is just a microwave rice, but what's kind of unique about Korean rice is that it's very sticky. You can do a meal where it's rice and then kimchi and a lot of other small side dishes in stew.
You guys took me to a restaurant, and that sounds a lot like what we had that night. Was rice, kimchi, and that lady brought up different little sides.
Yep.
Yep.
And usually the good thing about the sides is you get free refills.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you like the side dish, you can say, keep it coming.
I thought she just liked me. That's like that for everybody.
She did.
Okay.
It was only for you.
I'd have to have some of this with it.
You know, they'll have some kind of soup or stew,
Okay.
and they'll take a spoonful of the rice and some broth.
I would have to have something with that.
Right.
Otherwise, it's kind of plain by itself.
And that's usually how it's eaten.
Okay.
Most people won't eat this just plain.
Okay. You feel like it's thoroughly cooked, but it's not undercooked. It's not crunchy.
Right.
You know, and it's not soggy.
Right.
It's right there in the middle. I'd probably give it an 8 because of the way it breaks apart so nicely and evenly. I'd give it a 10 if I could mix it with this or that.
Then I'll
It
say you
tastes
give
good.
it a 10 because
Yeah.
that's usually how you eat it.
Okay. I like the texture of it.
I feel like this is a very beloved Korean food, especially among Americans and other foreigners. So this is mandu, and mandu is just a dumpling. So there is meat and vegetables inside of here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right. I like it. It's got a crispy little shell, moist inside, flavorful. What did you say is inside this particular one?
Beef and vegetables.
All kind of ground up.
Yep, you can have them steamed, so it's not crispy, but it's soft on the outside, and you can get them fried. Usually it's served with some kind of dipping sauce, similar to soy sauce.
You can have kimchi with it.
Yeah,
I see the greens in there for the vegetables.
we're eating healthy.
I see you dip yours in
Yes,
there.
it's
I'm gonna give it
good.
a whirl.
Yep.
Because that sauce is really good. It's yummy. And the kimchi is too. Did I mention that? Or?
I don't think you said that.
Okay.
Probably my go-to Korean foods. If I can't decide what to eat, or if nothing sounds good, dumpling always does the trick.
I see why.
Yep. What would you rate these out of 10? 10.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, a quick and easy 10.
Yep. I could
Okay.
eat those for a meal or an hors d'oeuvre. She
like-
she likes that stuff.
There you go.
I like the mandu. And you can have them with kimchi.
Kimchi goes with everything. We always got to finish with a dessert.
One of my favorite times.
So this is a traditional Korean street food called bungeoppang.
Bungeoppang. And it's a dessert?
It's a dessert. In Korea, they have sugar mixed with the red bean, and they use it for a lot of desserts. But you can also get it filled with cream, but this is the traditional one.
Okay.
And we call the red bean pat.
Pat.
So pat means red bean. So
red bean.
Cheers.
Who would have ever thought red bean would be a dessert?
I know, very different than American dessert.
Tastes really sweet. I like it because it is red bean. It's not like gelatin, jelly stuffed in there. It seems more natural.
When you think of this versus traditional American dessert, what kind of differences would you notice or think of?
I like this because you almost feel like you're eating a pastry. Mm-hmm. A warm, hot pastry.
Would you say it's as sweet as most American desserts, or?
It depends on what. Americans are nuts with sweets. So
like a brownie or cookies.
Right. Some cookies are sweeter, but this is like the perfect level of sweetness, I think.
This is very popular in the winter time. It's a winter street food snack.
Would eating 12 of them be not good? I feel like I'd want to grab,
Keep going.
6, 8, 10 of them or something.
Usually they are this big, so it's full pastry size. These ones are mini ones.
I could see me knocking off a half dozen to a dozen of those with a little bit of chocolate milk and then a coffee or something.
How about your rating for this?
I'd say a 10. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Everything I've tried here today, maybe it's because it's all new to me, but it all tastes good.
So you're a fan of Korean food then?
Yeah. You get this mental thing in your head, Korean food, we're going to eat rice and that's it. Mm-hmm. This is creative Korean food, and it's tasty.
I think Korea has so many dishes. Like even I
Okay.
haven't tried half of them probably.
Everything I've tried here is phenomenal.
Do you think I should open a tteokbokki shop or bungeoppang stand in Saginaw?
I think it might do all right.
All right, next business venture.
I think so.
So out of everything, I know it's hard, but if you could only choose one food, what would you say was your favorite? No hesitation.
Well, I definitely like the kimchi, but I really like this. I really like mandu. I really like this. I like everything I've tried so far.
But kimchi's top.
Absolutely.
Kimchi takes the gold.
I appreciate you having me taste test all this. We got any more?
Oh, this was a lot of instant food, but next time we'll cook some real Korean dinner.
I appreciate you doing this today.
So that's the end of our Korean mukbang today. Seems my dad enjoyed the food. If you want to take your English to the next level, check out our membership option. See you next time, guys. Bye.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.